All right. So, a competitive advantage in business terms is something that makes a company stand out from others. Translate this to chess, and a player's competitive advantage is a unique skill or approach that gives them an edge over their opponents. Now, I will help you identify your unique strengths. It's crucial to identify them to make the most of them. So, I would encourage you to ask yourself these questions. What part of the game do you feel most comfortable with? Openings, middle games, or end games? Do you prefer aggressive tactics or slow positional play? What is your strongest phase of the game? Some players excel in the opening, others in end games. So, actually, write them down. I will also show you how I did it. But yeah, it's a simple exercise. It shouldn't take you more than 1 minute. Now, I would also encourage you to be honest with yourself. Sometimes strengths aren't what you want them to be. Recognizing them is key to improvement. Are you better at attacking or defending? Do you often rely on specific openings that give you an advantage? Do you have a higher than average level of patience and focus? This can translate to long games and positional plays. I will show you here three examples of competitive advantage in chess and how these players use it. Magnus Carlsen, he's a master of endgame, precision and patience. He's a positional player. He has that ability to grind down opponents in equal or slightly better position. So his advantage is that patience and precision in the endgame. Hikaru Nakamura is known for his speed and tactical ability, especially in blitz and bullet formats, and his competitive advantage is his sharp tactical awareness and rapid play. Finally, Jose Raul Capablanca. He's known for his positional understanding and simplicity. His competitive advantage was his ability to outmaneuver opponents without complications. Do you have a favorite opponent? I want you to think about what is his competitive advantage. Yeah, play to your strengths. Once you know your competitive advantage, focus on developing it further. For tactical players, practice solving complex tactics daily. Study games that emphasize tactical motives. For positional players, study games by players known for their positional style, like Petrosian or Karpov. For endgame specialists, focus on endgame theory and practical endgame studies. Build a repertoire around your strengths. Choose openings and middle games that suit your style. If you're an aggressive player, maybe you can try openings like the King's Gambit or the Sicilian Defense. Or maybe you're more of a positional player. Openings like the London System or the Queen's Gambit can help you steer the game into more strategic waters. Okay, so recognizing and exploring your opponent's weaknesses. This can be scouting for patterns. So in competitive chess, spotting your opponent's weaknesses is as crucial as knowing your own strengths. You adjust to their style, you use that information, and once you identify their weaknesses, adjust your game to exploit them. Some example questions you can ask yourself is: does your opponent play quickly? They might be overlooking details in complex positions, so focus on complicating the game. Are they uncomfortable in the end game? They simplify. Maybe you can try simplifying the game if that is advantageous. Do they play passively? Now look for ways to maintain the initiative and keep them on the defensive. I will play this video for you here so I can show you how this plays out. Okay. Yeah, I just type in. It took me a minute to identify my own skills, so shouldn't be so hard. I will leave these questions at the description so you can copy and paste them in a document and you should be able to answer them. Okay, so I'm gonna show you these two games where I want you to identify which type of game you feel most comfortable with. If you were playing this game, which one would you be? So let's go first with Black's perspective on this game. I will show you later who is the player making the moves here, and maybe you can follow into his footsteps. So this is Black. All of these are book moves. This has been played before. White makes a mistake here. Now, what I want to do with Black is just make a slow moves. I will develop my bishop and opening this scope. Now, yeah, nothing much is happening for me. Okay, I'm gonna kick out this knight and I'm completely fine. White wants to try pieces. I will challenge this structure, this pawn, this isolated pawn. So, okay, everything is fine here. You know what? I'm going to develop my bishop and put it here on this diagonal. So, yeah, does this feel like it's you? Might you be playing this type of game where it's slow maneuvering? I'm going to slowly try to outmaneuver my opponent by putting the pieces on the most optimal squares. Um, okay. You know what? I see this coming. I see the bishop is coming, so I'm gonna retreat my queen in advance. Okay, and now I'm going to double up the rook, so this pawn is going to be weak. Does this feel like you? Um, if this feels like you, I have great news for you. But okay, so okay, you know what? Nothing is happening here. I can just push this pawn, and I know that my pieces are slightly in a better place, and now this bishop is hanging. So after these trades happen, yeah, I am much better with Black. And I wasn't doing anything spectacular, no brilliant moves, only solid play. And White resign. Okay, so I will show you the other game. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at this game from White's perspective. So, okay, I start with b3. This is already kind of shaky, but yeah, you can play it. And so b3, then e3. This is kind of theory. Then what you want to do is push this pawn d4. These are the ideas. So you're fighting for the center from the beginning. But as you might notice, this is a bit more dynamic. Now, Black made a mistake, and I am punished by pushing this pawn, and I should be slightly better. I am going for an attack. I'm going to be more aggressive, and I will push this pawn. Okay, now I recapture. Even though it wasn't the best move, I still have more activity with my pieces. So, and I'm going to aim for tactics. Yeah, maybe you know that Black's option is to castle this way. Well, you know what? I want to open the lines and I want to be aggressive, so I'm going to castle on the other side of the board. This is a bit more aggressive. Does this feel like you? You are more dynamic player. Um, Now, yeah, this is development of the pieces. Now this is a knight jump, which is going to try to go for these squares, as well as in combination with this knight. Okay, so yeah, I don't really mind attacking, and my queen looks a bit hanging here, but I am actually completely fine. And yeah, I will try queens. And as we saw before, this knight was competing for this square in combination with the bishop. And so, okay. Now I really want to mount an attack, and I will go after this rook, and I will try to give checks here. Okay. So I will put pressure here. I'm gonna put pressure and yeah, find dynamic play. Yeah, these are these are improving moves. Now we capture. There is an interesting tactic here. Okay, I'm gonna give a check. I see a check. I will immediately give the check here. So try to win. I'm gonna try to win fast. I also know my opponent is low on time. I want you to pause the video and find the best move. There is tactics here. There is an amazing tactic. So I guess you can also evaluate this position and say that you are better because you have more pawns. You have 3, 7. You have 7 pawns versus 3 on the sides, 5, right? You have 3 versus 5, and the rest of the pieces are the same. And maybe you can slowly trade rooks, but now there is something better, something more powerful in this position. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, if you found it, maybe you are at the level of this player. So the best move for white is to take this pawn. Yeah, you take this pawn, and it's actually a brilliant move because yeah, you cannot take this knight. If you take this knight, then I give a check here, and it will be mating one. I go here, this is mating one, and yeah, if you constantly looking for tactics for aggressive play, are you good at spotting this type of yeah, this type of tactics, this type of motives? Then you might be a more aggressive tactical player. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. So, if you found this move, maybe you are at the level of Hikaru Nakamura. Hikaru Nakamura, you should follow into his footsteps. He has a more dynamic play. And the previous game I showed you before, you are you have the same style as Magnus Carlsen. So yeah, go for it. I would encourage you to into the path of Hikaru Nakamura or Magnus Carlsen if that is your case. So, and I hope you like this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.